And if I can ask a super quick follow-up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
The focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus. Hey, guys, can we stop asking these questions? Y'all know this man don't want to play Shedeur.
You know that.
Shedeur not playing yesterday. And I'm pretty sure he mentioned in the locker room that it wasn't his decision. And so, if he had said to you guys, hey, I want to play, I can play.
The Cleveland Browns are in flames right now, and the heat's all on head coach Kevin Stefanski. The controversy exploded when it was revealed that Stefanski may have faked an injury for Shedeur Sanders, all to prevent him from playing. Despite Sanders' clear desire to get back on the field, Stefanski stood his ground, stubbornly pushing the narrative that Shedeur was hurt when he clearly wasn't. But things took a turn when Mary Kay Cabot exposed the truth in a press conference. According to her, Shedeur Sanders openly expressed his wish to play, even in the dressing room. Yet, Stefanski wouldn't budge and kept the story about the supposed injury, preventing Sanders from taking the field. Just lose, they were demolished by the Patriots. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, how long can Stefanski stand in this storm?
What was the thinking behind that and how'd that go?
Yeah, he obviously came in Saturday with his back injury. We were hopeful that he'd be able to move around well enough to suit up on Sunday, but put him through a pregame warm-up, and obviously just didn't feel like he was ready to play.
Even after being exposed live, Kevin Stefanski refused to back down from his claim that Shedeur Sanders was injured. He doubled down, insisting that Sanders showed up to practice on Saturday with an injury. And when given the chance to warm up before the game, Stefanski determined that Sanders wasn't ready. But let's be real, this is just pure denial. There's a huge difference between actually being injured and being sidelined, and what Stefanski doing is more about keeping Sanders off the field than any real injury. It's a lame excuse that no one is buying, and it's only making things worse for him. Skip Bayless didn't hold back when it came to calling out Kevin Stefanski. He went all in, saying that Stefanski allowed Shedeur Sanders to go through training and warm-up before the game, only to suddenly rule him out, claiming he was injured. Bayless made it clear that this wasn't about injury. It was about Stefanski's preference for Bailey Zappi over Sanders. He even went as far as calling the whole situation a lie, saying that the real backup quarterback wasn't Sanders, as the team claimed, but actually Bailey Zappi. It's a bold statement that paints a picture of favoritism and questionable decisions.
They announce on game day that Shedeur has a quote-unquote back injury, yet he did go out to warm up. They watched him warm up and they disqualified him because he's got a back injury. I don't trust it for 1 second. Bailey Zappi I said it 5 times on the show, he's been the unofficial, unstated backup quarterback all along.
Ocho wasn't shy about weighing in either, going all out against Stefanski. He flat out declared that Stefanski was deliberately sidelining Shedeur Sanders, claiming that Sanders was never even part of Stefanski's plans from the start. According to Ocho, this whole situation was a calculated move by Stefanski. He's positioning himself for a win-win scenario, where no matter how things play out, he comes out on top, because in Ocho's eyes, this was the plan all along.
It wasn't the owner, it wasn't Stefanski, so this is exactly what they want. This is exactly what they want. It seemed as if that someone forced their hand to take this pick, and they don't want to give him an opportunity to play the game. From the small sample size that we've seen from Dillon Gabriel, he's played 4 games. They're 1-3.
He won't push the ball down the field. It's hard when you can't run the ball.
It's not just the experts who are calling out Stefanski. Myles Garrett is at his breaking point too. After the devastating loss to the Patriots, the star defensive end went off in the press conference, making it clear that he's had enough of the situation. In a blunt and raw statement, Garrett said he couldn't care less about what Kevin Stefanski thinks, and he's fed up with the endless excuses surrounding the quarterback position. For Garrett, it's simple. Offense are making that goal feel increasingly out of reach. He's giving it his all, but it feels like all his hard work is going to waste.
I want to win. I don't care how much time is on the clock. They got their starters in. there's a chance we can win, I want to be a part of that. I don't care how dire the situation looks. I'm want to try to make something happen. So I hate coming out of those situations. I hate, that kind of inevitability and not being able to do anything about it, because I want to win and I'll do anything.
Myles Garrett's frustration couldn't be hidden. When asked about the loss and how the offense contributed, Garrett didn't mince words. He pointed out that throughout the week, the same questions kept coming up, but the situation only seemed to worsen. While he didn't explicitly call anyone out, it was clear that his frustration was directed at both Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel's. The tension is rising, and it's not just external. Stefanski is facing growing criticism in the locker room as well. The players are starting to voice their concerns, and it's becoming evident that the atmosphere within the team is getting increasingly strained.
How tough is it for you guys to have such good defense for you to be out there getting 5 sacks and putting the team on your back and just to not have any offense to go with it?
It doesn't get any easier each week, you ask me.
Well, there's no place for excuses. Garrett made it known that once a player joins a team, they either rise to the occasion or fall short. It's all about delivering on the field, and at the moment, Gabriel's performance just isn't measuring up.
I busted the D-line front. They got in chunk formation. They chipped. He got the ball out, as quick as possible. And there weren't a lot of situations in which, even if I was running, that I could have got there. So
Myles Garrett didn't stop at Dillon Gabriel. He also took aim at head coach Kevin Stefanski, expressing his frustration over the team's ongoing struggles. Garrett voiced his disappointment in Stefanski's decision not to bring in someone like Shedeur Sanders, a move he believes could have turned the team's season around. In a passionate outburst, Garrett called out the offensive play calling, especially with Gabriel at quarterback, and how draining it's become to endure the same kind of loss week after week. With tensions rising, questions leading the team is quickly running out. Ocho weighed in on Myles Garrett's frustration, calling attention to the growing tension within the team. He pointed out that despite everything going on, Stefanski remains stubborn, still insisting on playing Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. Ocho emphasized that when a star player like Garrett steps up and demands changes offensively, it's a clear sign something is wrong. But Stefanski seems determined to stick to his guns, trying to make sure Gabriel secures the starting job, even though it's becoming increasingly obvious he's not getting the job done.
You're going to lose the locker room. It just take the right person to say something. A Denzel Ward, a Myles Garrett, your captains, you'd be like, listen, we need to do something. I mean, to see Myles Garrett frustrated like that, the way he was, understanding that offensively, we not getting it done, knowing the change needs to be made. But I think that's a hill that Kevin Stefanski is willing to die on.
Kevin Stefanski is coming under intense scrutiny for sticking with Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback, and both Browns fans and insiders are beginning to reach the same conclusion. Gabriel is better suited as a backup. Once defenses start to figure him out, he crumbles under pressure, revealing that he's not the solution for the Browns. The consensus now is clear. Many believe the only real option is to give Shedeur Sanders a shot at starting. Gabriel is still fighting to prove himself, but it's becoming painfully obvious that he's not the right fit. With the season slipping further away, it's time for the Browns to make a change and give Sanders the opportunity to step up and lead the offense.
Doing his best is what a backup does. This is what backups do.
They play sure about that?
They play for a few games, and then they get figured out, and there wasn't much to figure out with him, and he's been figured out here. So you can expect more of the same if he continues to go out there.
Garrett Bush didn't hold back in his scathing critique of Kevin Stefanski's offensive strategy, calling it terrible, whether Dillon Gabriel or even Joe Flacco is under center. Bush pointed out that despite the team's ongoing struggles, Stefanski is still blocking Shedeur Sanders from getting his shot. Looking back at previous seasons, Bush argued that Stefanski hasn't accomplished much and is now being exposed for his failures. He believes Stefanski is deliberately holding Sanders back, but won't own up to it. For Bush, the solution is clear. Stefanski needs to be replaced as head coach to bring in new leadership and spark the changes necessary for the team to move forward.
And 2 receivers
with over 1,000 yards and he's the laughing stock? You see, this is the part that gets me. Narrative over facts. Narrative, and it's funny how if you say it enough.
The situation surrounding the Cleveland Browns is reaching a boiling point, and the frustration within the team is palpable. Myles Garrett, Garrett Bush, and other voices in the media have not held back, sharply criticizing head coach Kevin Stefanski for his handling of the quarterback situation and his offensive play calling. Despite the Browns' ongoing struggles, Stefanski continues to stick with Dillon Gabriel, who has shown clear limitations under pressure. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, who many believe could be the key to turning the offense around, has been sidelined with no clear explanation. Myles Garrett, in particular, has been outspoken, making it clear that the team's failures are not just about one player or position, but about the overall direction of the offense. His frustration with Stefanski's refusal to make necessary changes has been evident, and it's hard to ignore the mounting tension within the locker room. Should the Browns give Shedeur Sanders a shot as the starting quarterback, or is it time to cut ties with Dillon Gabriel and look elsewhere? And, with all the tension building in the locker room, how much impact will Myles Garrett's frustration have on the team's future? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and let's get the conversation going.